Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I wanted to share with you guys one of my all-time favorite soup recipes, and this one is going to be perfect for fall and winter. I'll be making my smoky smoked salmon chowder. This soup is phenomenal. If you've been to Seattle, you know that they have two things, clam chowder and smoked salmon chowder. And this is one of my favorite recipes. It is so incredibly creamy, flavorful, and out of this world delicious. We're going to start with a simple soup base, some smoky bacon bits, onions, garlic, carrots. I also like to add a little bit of corn. And then instead of potatoes, I'm going to be using mini potato gnocchi, lots of smoked salmon. Finish everything off with a little bit of dill and parsley. This soup is just heavenly. It will satisfy all your comfort food cravings. For the full list of ingredients and the written instructions, head on down into that video description box, follow the link over to my website. Meanwhile, let's get started on this incredible recipe. Let's preheat a large frying pan over medium-high heat. Once it's nice and hot, I'm going to add in 8 slices of bacon. I've diced it into small little pieces for our bacon bits. I want to make a special note here because I always get comments about it. When I make this soup at home, I do everything in one pot. So I fry the bacon and the onions and garlic, but for filming purposes, I like to use a frying pan so you guys can see the ingredients, the colors, the textures a little bit better. And once our bacon is nice and crispy, I'm going to take it out and set it aside for now. Reduce the heat to a medium, and I'm going to add in 1 large diced onion, 3 medium diced carrots, and 2 diced celery stalks. The aroma of that smoky bacon is mouth-watering. I love keeping that bacon grease in the pan to fry this mixture. I'm going to saute everything for about 7 to 10 minutes until the onions and carrots are really nice and tender. Next, add in 6 minced garlic cloves, a tablespoon of fresh thyme. I also like fresh rosemary, but I didn't have any in hand, so 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, lots of ground black pepper, and a few tablespoons of either ketchup or tomato paste. Toss this all together and cook for 1 minute until that garlic is nice and soft. Sprinkle in 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Make sure that flour gets well incorporated and let it cook down for about 30 seconds to a minute. You don't want any of that raw flour flavor in your soup. We'll need 6 cups of chicken broth. I'm going to add in 1 cup first. And use this to deglaze the pan. Get all those fried on bits incorporated. Pour in the rest of the chicken broth. And return the bacon into the pan. I'm going to cover this with my lid so that it comes up to a boil faster. I like to let this simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes so that soup base is really nice and rich. Unfortunately, fresh corn is already out of season, so I have to use canned corn today. If you were using fresh corn, you could toss it in along with the bacon, let it cook for a good 15 minutes. I'll add my corn in a little bit later. Meanwhile, we can get started on our salmon. So today I'm going to be using 1 pound of the salmon that I get at Costco. This is the Cambridge House honey roasted salmon, and it is so incredibly delicious. Let's get the salmon out of its packaging. And for this soup, I'm going to remove the skin. And then use a sharp knife and cut the salmon into chunks, little cubes. It's going to flake a little bit naturally. Instead of potatoes, I'm going to be adding pillowy mini gnocchi to today's chowder recipe. This one cooks for 3 minutes. I'm going to drop it into the soup, let it cook first. After a few minutes, add in the corn. I'm using 1.5 cups of canned corn. Drop in our smoked salmon. Pour in 1 cup of whole milk and 1 cup of cream or half and half. 1.5 cups of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Several tablespoons of fresh dill, some fresh parsley. Going to add a little bit more ground black pepper. Just add this to taste. Stir everything together. Once you add in the milk and the cream, you want to heat the soup just until it's simmering. You don't want to boil it once you add the dairy in there. Then take it off the heat, cover it, and let it stand for a good 30 minutes to allow those smoked salmon flavors to really develop. All right, let's get some of this incredible chowder ladled up. And the aroma here is so incredible. Love the combination of that smoked salmon with the bacon. I like to squeeze in a little bit of fresh lemon juice right at the end. Sprinkle in some fresh parsley and some fresh dill. And that's it for my smoked salmon chowder recipe. The aroma alone is going to make this one of your favorite recipes. For the full list of ingredients and the written instructions, don't forget to head on down into that video description box over to my website. I'll have everything online there for you. Add a little squeeze of lemon juice right at the end, right before digging in. It makes a huge difference, adds a little pop of that freshness, kind of cuts through the heaviness of the soup. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to enjoy this. It smells so good. This is so incredibly delicious, just phenomenal. You guys are going to fall in love with this recipe from the very first bite, I guarantee it. Thank you so much for watching my latest episode. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and a comment down below. I love to hear from you guys, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.